All right. Can everyone see me? Can everyone hear me? Let me move my mouse over here. Here we go. There we go. Can everyone hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Let me know what you can hear. Let me know if you can see everything, if everything is working out, because the last thing you want to do is start a live and nobody can hear you or see you. And then you got to redo it. So let me know. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some yes, okays, hearts. We hear you. We see you. All that jazz. Let me fix this here. Happy Thursday. Pre weekend, pre Friday, right? Friday Eve. And let me lower this music. Let me, let me go here. There we go. All right, guys. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am excited to be here. I've been doing a um, I've been doing a week long kind of live parade, if you will, um, in honor of promoting my newest book, Christian Dating Adventures, a Couples Guide. So today is kind of the last live of this week, and then we'll have a whole spiel of lives coming at you next week. And it's very interesting because there's a lot of people I feel like who are in this particular demographic, the professionals. And so I can't wait to get started into that. But before I go, and share with you guys my thoughts and the biggest challenges that I believe professionals have when it comes to dating and dates, going on dates, as well as 3 tips and solutions that could help professionals in this realm. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. Hey, girl. Hey. Let me wave to everybody on Instagram. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Selina Almodovar. I am a Christian relationship coach and author. And I teach Christian women how to create faith-filled steps so that they can apply their faith into their love life setting. So that way they can create those relationships and that love life that they desire most to have. So I do that through the forms of books, through the forms of coaching, and of course, by offering you guys information such as these lives here today. So I'm very excited to be with you guys, to spend this Thursday with you. I feel like Thursday is like you're pretty much into the weekend, and I know lately these lives have been pretty extensive just because we've had some really good conversation. I will do my best. Like usually I have 5 tips, I have 4 tips, but today I kind of kept it a little simple just because professionals do kind of start shutting down on Thursday. I should have did this on a Tuesday. I feel like that's like the prime professional day is a Tuesday. But we're gonna have a lot of fun here. Also, I had a giveaway. So if you're on Instagram, okay, if you are on Instagram and you have not seen my giveaway, let me show you guys what the giveaway post looks like. I'm going to be giving away 2 copies of my book, Adventures. Christian Dating Adventures right here. One for you and one for a friend. So if you look at the rules are you have to like the post, you have to follow me, make sure that we're connected, and then you have to tag somebody. And whoever it is that you tag, I am randomly going to add you to my random name picker. I have it over here on my laptop. That's what took me so long in joining today. I was a little bit late, but that's why I did it. So at the end of this live, it's another reason why I'm going to keep it short. I will be selecting that winner, and you guys will be going home with a free copy. So, and your friend. So you get the hookup, they get the hookup. We're gonna have fun with that. So that's gonna take place at the end of today's live. But first, let's get into dating when you're a professional. Out of a show of hands, because I like to see the engagement, I like to get the hearts, I like to have the conversation. If you guys have questions, feel free to jot it down in the comments section and or in the question box if you're on Instagram, and I will go ahead and address every single one of those. But out of a show of hands or just a show of comments, how many of you guys are currently working in a professional setting? So you're not a solopreneur, you're not working from home, or you do work from home, but you're working with a bigger corporation. How many of you guys are considering yourselves as professionals in a workforce environment? Let me know. Let me know. I know right now I have been an entrepreneur. I've been working from home ever since I got married. So I actually got laid off from my professional job, my professional establishment, um, the week before, the week after I got engaged to Kyle. So I have been out of this work world, this work setting. Um, I'm supposed to be studying, but I'm here. I'm gonna keep it quick, girl. I'm gonna keep it quick. Uh, how many of you? What was I saying? I was in this professional work setting when I came straight out of college because that's kind of what you're trained to do. You get the degree, you find the job, and then you go into that corporate or that nonprofit sector. I was in the nonprofit sector until I got engaged, and then a week later, just it simultaneously all everything changed simultaneously in my life and in my season. And with my 2 degrees, I have a master's in health administration. Not that that matters in this setting, but I tried to go back, and God had other plans. So I dated Kyle as a professional my entire time that we were dating before it got really serious to that point of marriage. And so being a professional and being single as a professional and then dating as a professional and having a serious relationship as a professional, like there's so many challenges and ups and downs and headaches and annoyances. Like I can definitely relate to that. So I know what my challenges are. I have them written down. I'm going to list the top 3 that I believe are the biggest challenges when it comes to professionals who date. But I want to hear from you guys, the ones who are still in that work setting. Um, to me, when it comes to dates and when it comes to professionals, what is the biggest struggle? What is the biggest headache? What is the biggest thing that just gets on your nerves? And let's see if we can match each other and sync up and see if we're both or all feeling the same way. All right. So if you can, go ahead and share with me, what do you think is the biggest challenge when it comes to dating as a professional? Okay, so you go ahead and share those with me. I'm going to take a small sip of my hot chocolate before it was too hot. Let's see. Thank God I didn't burn my tongue this time because that would have been awkward. I remember being a professional, and for starters, um, it almost feels like a church. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain. Not a church in a spiritual or religious setting, but in the sense that you gather at the same place to do the same thing, to do your work, to do your job, your description, whatever you want to call it. And you're seeing the same people over and over and over and over. And even though you don't want to become a family, you're kind of like a family. So that's why I say it's like a church, because it's like you have a church family, you have a work family, right? And sometimes those people get all up in your business. And sometimes you don't want them to know anything. And sometimes they're very supportive. And sometimes they become some of your best friends, right? So, but needless to say, in any kind of family setting, if we will, there's always going to be those challenges, especially when it comes to dating. Now, you have that whole HR component where it's like, you shouldn't be dating people in the same department. Please report to me if that's what you decide to do. And, consent and harassment. And you got that whole thing. I'm not talking about that whole thing because that's a training that you already had with a box lunch during some time that you could have been doing something else. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. What I want to get into is the actual dates itself. Since we have a date book, right? Sometimes those professionals, when they come straight out of work and they're trying to head into a date, or sometimes when they choose to date someone in that professional environment, in that setting, there comes challenges. I want to talk about those specific challenges today. And I have 3 of them that I remember from my personal experience that I may have done, but I also had done to me. Okay. So if any of these challenges are things that you can relate to or you have experienced yourself, then give me like a, oh yeah, girl, oh, I felt that, or thumbs up, or a heart, or a like, or something like that. If you know someone who's probably working late today, or if you know someone who is really involved in their job as a professional, and they're trying to get into this love life, improvement. They want to date more, they want to meet people, or maybe they have a relationship but their professional world is always getting in the way. Maybe you might want to share this with them, share this live with them, maybe share it on your page so that way they could catch it, or do something like that. But just share this message with them. That way they can get something out of this, even though they're not here as well. I got a comment here. Let me see. Yes, I work full time, but I do work from home. I really enjoy working from home, but there was a really big transition period because I straight up used to wake up at 11 o'clock and watch The View and watch something else. And then I would wait until I got all the way to the reel. And then I'm like, oh, 3 o'clock. I guess I got to work out now. Then I'd work out. Oh, I guess I got to work now. Like it was just a whole transition. Anyways, after a full day of work, my husband and I are exhausted and don't want to go out after work, especially having kids. Yes, I can understand that completely. Work, yes, I actually, is that one of my points? It is one of my points. It is one of my points. Here we go. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Point number one of the challenges when it comes to work is you're bringing your professional face to the date. Okay, so there's a lot of people who I'm looking for my phone and I'm using my phone for Instagram. There's a lot of people who just can't put work down. There's a lot of people who just can't set the boundary. There's a lot of people who feel like every opportunity is an opportunity for their business, for their network, for their job description, is an opportunity to promote themselves. And that can sometimes definitely get in the way when it comes to your date because you just want to unplug, you just want to chill, you just want to let loose, you know what I mean? And so it gets really hard when you're trying to get to know someone, or if you're trying to reconnect with somebody and they just simply cannot put work down, and then say you get to the date, and what are you guys talking about a date? I'm guilty of this all the time because I'm a business of one. And so who do I have a board meeting with? Myself and my husband on dates, unfortunately. But you get into this conversation and, oh honey, how was your day? Or, oh, what's up, what's new with you in your world? Or, oh, what's going on? And what automatically happens? You're automatically back in business mode. You start brainstorming, you start talking about somebody, you start talking about the meetings that you just had, you start talking about the job that you're doing and the workload that you have. And you're dumping all of this stuff when this date is supposed to be a way for you to break free from that. And that becomes a challenge because you're going somewhere and you're having this meal and you're doing this activity with somebody that you should really be engaging with, but instead you're still engaged with your job. And that is a difficult thing for professionals to do, especially if they take a lot of passion and they take great pride in what they do, right? It's hard to just turn it off. And so that becomes a challenge. That becomes a challenge when you're meeting someone new for the first time. That becomes a challenge when you've been married for 15 years, right? So, what do you do in that situation? I'm going to talk about the solutions in just a second. But if you have ever been on a date before and you just couldn't shut it off, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. If you constantly are bringing your professional face to the date, let me know in the comments. If you're just say guilty or just say, hey, me, type in the word me, because it happens more often than not, you know. The other thing that you do is, I remember when I would try to date new people, getting to know new people, I would always try to use my professional status. Like I would come from work, and so you're dressed up with the heels and the accessories and the collars, and you're dressed up looking nice, or you feel some kind of way coming out, business suits for the men, and you got your everything is secure, and you have this status. When you're at your job, you have this status to maintain, you have this attitude to maintain, and you have this persona, if you will, but then you carry that into your date. And it's like, I can see through, like, that's not who you don't act like that when you're with me, so why are you acting like that right now? You know what I mean? And so people have a really hard time just shaking it off. They have a hard time just letting it go, leaving it at the office, leaving it at your job, and just enjoying the date. So what do you do with that? How do you remove that kind of mindset when you start heading into dates? I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to tell you something that you can actually use in this book. It can be a really good helpful tool for you. Let me update this comment over here. There we go. All right, the thing number 2 that I wanted to talk about, that dating as a professional, sometimes it gets in the way. And this kind of touches on the full day of work. And that is that we treat the dates like a business. We treat the dates like a business. You are very just stiff board, you're not getting personal, you're not laughing, you're not having a good time. Sometimes you treat it like it's a networking party and you're having one too many drinks, or you're doing a lot of things that just reflect who you are as that business person and not as an individual, right? um you can't let loose. You can't just have fun. You can't just be free in who you are. You're texting, hey, just confirming if we're going to have our date tonight at this time and this time. Like, you're treating it like a business memo. And then they're always like, yeah, I confirm my thing. Like, you're just making it very almost robotic. I don't want to use that word, but it's almost like you're treating this like you're trained to be robotic because of the gray areas when it comes to harassment and consent in a work setting. We're trained to treat people and handle relationships a certain way, especially with the opposite sex, because of what we were warned of and because of what we were trained about when it comes to involving yourself with the opposite sex. And so you kind of take that into your date and you're like very standoffish, and you're I don't know. Tell me if that's ever happened to you. I remember one time I went on a date before I met Kyle, and it was just like, here's my business card, and let's schedule this thing right now, and just calling to confirm. And it was just like, bro, like, are you a person? Like, can we just be people? Like, I felt like I couldn't be myself. I felt like I couldn't just let loose. I felt like I couldn't just dance and sing and be myself, because I felt like it was an interview process, and I felt like no matter what I said, like, this dude was gonna like treat me like an interview process. And so it just ended up not being fun, even though the date was supposed to be fun. You know what I mean? And so sometimes we just get in our own heads and we feel like how you act in one place is how you have to act in every place. But the thing about a date is that you're supposed to get to know someone. That's the whole purpose of the date. The date is so that you can come together and get to know someone that you are genuinely interested in getting to know, right? And we lose sight of that. The third thing that a lot of people see as a challenge when it comes to dating as a professional is that everything has to be private, hush, hush. In other words, don't let anybody know that you're dating, and don't go over there because so and so goes over there and that's the hot spot. And so we're going to go over on this side of town. Don't post anything on social media. I don't want anybody to know that we were hanging out at this time and on this day because of this other event that was going on. And it was just like, you're so concerned about everybody else that you work with and that works around you, that you just forget completely about the relationship that you're trying to engage with. You know what I'm saying? And so that becomes a little difficult to handle. Are any of these challenges that you have ever faced, or challenges that you have ever like gone through in the past or in the current present? Let me know in the comments, because these are definitely things that I have experienced when I was in that work setting. I remember feeling like Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City, where everything was very fun and just on the go and very fast paced. But then when it came to like, let's just let our guard down and let's just put the work aside and let's just be people who are interested in getting to know each other. And then all of a sudden everything fell apart because somebody wanted to pull rank or status, or I have this many degrees or this much experience, or I'm connected to this people, or I'm connected to that people. And it's almost like a sense of pride and arrogance gets in the way, because you are still playing job. You're still playing office in your date. So it's not really cool. The comment that Jamilette said was, full day of work, the husband and I are exhausted and we don't want to go out after work, especially having kids. So then you start having rain checks, right? You start saying, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to go home. Or the opposite of that is like, oh, I just had to go from this place to this networking place to this board meeting to this charity event. And now I don't have time for a date. And so you try to make the date into that networking event and that charity place and that board meeting. And again, you're bringing your date to work with the work persona, with the business, relationship that you were trained to have. And then you never evolve and you never get to know this person and they never get to know you. And then you wonder why you didn't get the call back, right? So there's a lot of challenges that goes with that. Does anybody else have any challenges before I move into some of these solutions? Anyone else? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the questions. Let me know if this is some stuff that you are enjoying. I remember, maybe it's different now, but I remember every single kind of like social gathering, professional social gathering that was created. It was always centered around alcohol, and it was always like this pressure of like it has to be a cocktail hour, it has to be a mocktail hour, and if you're not there, then you're missing out. You're missing your opportunity to network and engage, and you're missing your opportunity to get to know people, and that's where your dates should be, and that's where you should focus your place of social gathering and your place of recreation. And it was just really awful because as a Christian woman who was changing her whole lifestyle, I did not want to be around that. And so I almost felt like I had to choose between dating this Christian guy who became my husband or like evolving and elevating my career almost. It was a lot, y'all. Needless to say, there are a lot of challenges when it comes to professionals because of this mindset, because of this expectation that a lot of corporations expect us to have, because of the network, that church family that you guys are centered around. Because whether you guys realize it or not, if you're working in the same place over time, or if you're in the same industry, that world starts to become really small. You start to know those people. You go to the same gatherings, you go to the same meetings, and you start to see the same faces, right? And so having to create, what if you like somebody in that space? Now you have to deal with everybody else who knows that person, who knows the behavior types, and it becomes a challenge, right? So what do you do? How do you handle this? And more importantly, how can this book of Christian dating ideas, how can this book help you in that setting? Because you're a professional. I was a professional, and I used to go on dates with Kyle. And first off, anytime Kyle came to visit me for lunch or something, it was always the spectacle of the day. People would be peeping through their windows. People would be really nosy, like, who is this person? Oh, they used to call him Ben Affleck. They used to call him Ben Affleck, like, oh, Ben Affleck's back, Selena. Ben Affleck's here. And, it gets really hard because it's like, I just want to live my life. I want to get to know him, but then I have to deal with all of this in my work setting. You know what I mean? And then more importantly, like you were saying, Jamila, like, you don't know what to do because you're limited on time or you're limited in opportunities to actually hang out because you guys work so much. All right. Somebody on Instagram said can so relate to that. So we did a lot of like, at the time, this was like almost 10 years ago, we did a lot of lunches in the car. I remember like he would pick up lunch and we would just have it in the car. And then because your lunch, don't even get me started on a lunch break. Okay. Don't even get me started on a lunch break, but your lunch breaks are so small and you have to go back to work. And the day that he proposed to me, I'll tell you a little story before I get into the solutions. The day that Kyle proposed to me, I was at work and I was like, I had to stay late and we had a photographer there. I didn't know that, but it was there. And it was like, we had this photographer wait almost an hour because I was still in work mode. We had a plan to meet at a park to enjoy our park time together before we shut off work and went to like a life group, connect group. And I I came I came to the park late because of a job issue. I was on the phone in my car because of a networking issue, dealing with something that was like a problem that couldn't go away. And it's like, I didn't know he was going to propose to me, but how much more awesome would it have been if I would have shown up on time and got to enjoy that much more of the experience? You know what I'm saying? And it was because of work. So, okay, what are the three things after talking about these challenges? What are the three things that could help you, and how can this book help you? First of all, let me tell you a little bit about the book. This is called Christian Dating Adventures, a Couple's Guide, and it is 65 fun, creative dates to connect and grow you. And I love this book so much because it helps you not only get to know your partner, the person that you're interested in, but it helps you come closer to God and connect with God in such a way that you guys will end up evolving your relationship through the process of going on these dating experiences. Now, there are a lot of dating books out there. There's a lot of Christian dating books out there, but the one thing that sets this book apart is that in every single one of these 65 dates, there is an intentional step that's going to help you literally bring God into the mix, whether it's through a conversation, whether it's through an action, or whether it's through the scripture and the devotional that tie the entire date all together. Right? So that's why this is so important for you guys to have as your tool, no matter what your relationship status is, whether you're single, going on dates for the first time with someone new, whether you're in a serious relationship, or whether you're married. This is going to be a very good tool for you to use for those seasons. How do you get this book? Number one, I'm having a giveaway on Instagram right now. So if you go to the Instagram at Selina Almodovar and you just, there it is on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Selina Almodovar. If you go there and you look at the post that says giveaway time in really big letters, you can enter that. And at the end of this live, which is going to happen in about 20 minutes or so, I'll be pulling out selecting a winner for them and their friends to receive a free book. Another way you can get this book is if you go to the link in my bio, or if you go to the link here that I'm going to show you, bit.ly/Christian Dating Adventures. There you can pre-order the book. It is coming out officially on Tuesday, which is 5 days from now. It's going to be great, guys. It's going to be amazing, actually. And you can go ahead and pre-order the book in the meantime. What happens when you pre-order the book? You instantly get it delivered on the day that it comes out, which is November 2nd. There's no back order or nothing like that. You're probably going to get it for the cheaper price, the pre-order price. And if you order exclusively from my online shop, you're going to get a couple goodies added to your box. So you're going to get the signed autographed copy. You're going to get a personal prayer. Plus, I have a bunch of, partnership items that I was given to pass out to other people. I'm going to throw all that stuff in there in your box just to say thank you for pre-ordering and for supporting the book during its pre-launch season. So this is the book. Let's use this book to answer some of these challenges. The first challenge that I talked about was you bring your professional face to the date. In other words, you can't shut it off. You're constantly talking about it. It consumes your entire dating experience. So what do you do with that? My advice, my tip for you is you have to let your guard down while also keeping your guard up. Now, I'm not necessarily telling you to expose your entire life and share all of your, your bad credit and your skeleton and what happened in high school. Like, I'm not telling you to do all that. But what I am telling you is that you have to kind of lighten up a little bit and you have to just let loose. How do you do that? If you're going to go to the same kind of setting for your date that you would normally go to for a networking event or a fundraising event or some kind of event like that, then you're never going to be able to distinguish one from the other, right? You have to do something that is going to be completely different, completely out of the box, completely unique and different from what you would do at your job, right? So in comes this book. You have 7 chapters right now. Okay. And I'm going to just briefly go over this. Chapter 1 is just the two of us, where you focus solely on you and your date getting to know each other better. Chapter 2 is homegrown, where all of the dates are completely at home on a very low cost budget. Chapter 3 is creative and culinary. You might find some dates in here that might coincide with what you do in your work setting. So you want to be mindful of that. But at the same time, you might not. You might find something completely different. Chapter 4 is outdoors and adventure. Again, you might have some outdoor vendors where you're like, oh, we do stuff here all the time. We have fundraisers here all the time. We have our board meetings here all the time. Don't go there. Okay, go somewhere else. Chapter 5, together in service. Again, those could be related to what you do with your job, especially if you're in community outreach, or, if you're in philanthropy, or if you're in something of that aspect. So you have to just be mindful of what you choose to do. Chapter 6 is group dates, things you could do with other people. Chapter 7 is holidays and special occasions. So you're going to want to pick a date that is just so fun and engaging and just allows you to be just completely out of your work zone, that it would allow you to let your guard down a little bit too. All right. So I'm going to give you a quick example because here we go. I'm not going to share this whole date with you, but I wanted to show you with every single date, there's this little section here that says good for, and then there's these little star points. And that means that this date is good for specific qualities that you can use to help grow your relationship. So let's say you're a workaholic. Okay. And you want to go on a date with your wife, but you're kind of hesitant because every time you guys go on a date, it always comes back to work. Okay, it always comes back to that. So what can you do? We're going to look in the index and we're going to say, you know what? I want to work on our friendship. I want to work on our friendship. So what are some dates that I can do that will specifically help me work on our friendship? Or maybe you want to say, I want to have a very fun time with you. Like, I want to set work aside completely. So then let's look up playfulness. Okay. What are all the dates that are good for playfulness? So I'm going to go onto the index, right? I'm going to look up these keywords and I see something that says, let's see, what's a good one? What's a big one? What's a good one? What's a good one? Here we go. When we were young. All right, I'm going to go to page 5. And this date is called When We Were Young. Now, remember when I said that each of these dates has a place for God intentionally in the date? Well, every single date has a scripture here. So this sample date, When We Were Young, has the scripture 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. And that says, when I was a child, right? I spoke and thought and reasoned as a child, but when I grew up, I put away childish things. Now, wouldn't this be a very interesting date to have, especially if you're coming home from work? I mean, unless you work with children, unless you like that's your thing, this might be a really good date because you're going the complete opposite direction of grown and sexy work person, right? So now you're all the way in the opposite direction of being children. Here's the description. I'm not going to get into all of it because I want you guys to actually get the book and have it for yourself. But I'm going to share a couple lines just to give you a taste of what this date is actually about. So you're going to go back to your childhood and create a date using some of your most favorite memories. Plan a day to go visit a playground, an arcade, or a trampoline center. Watch your favorite childhood movie, play your favorite game, or listen to your favorite childhood songs. Candy girl, you're my world. Okay, just a whole playlist of your childhood favorites, right? That's just a taste. I'm not going to read the whole thing. And then you have the devotional here. How does this scripture tie with this date? I'll read a couple sentences. As a child, you did things differently as an adult. That's a great way to get out of your work mindset and that mentality, right? As a child, you did things differently as an adult. Although you are now mature enough to know that childish behavior doesn't take you very far, some things from your childhood are worth cherishing. Your creativity, your energy, your courage, your faith. Each of these is a great attribute to carry into your adult life and relationships. I'm not going to read the rest, but you can start to see how this state is now going to fit God in the center, right? And again, this date is good for playfulness, vulnerability, and honoring your values. So not only are you guys going to have a fun time playing around, right? But then you're also going to have these other two traits that is going to come out at the end of this date, right? You got your tips here on how to make this happen in case you can't really like figure it out. You're stuck on trying to make this a really good date. I got some tips here. Then you have your level up, which if this date is too easy for you, you can always just take it up a notch with your level up point. And then the talking points. Let's talk about these talking points because sometimes people, like I said, you can't shut that business mindset down. So, what do you do with that? You really want to focus on what you talk about during your dates. That's why the talking points are going to be so important. So, let me just share with you a couple of these talking points. Again, I'm not going to share all of it, just a taste. So, here we go. What was your favorite childhood memory? We're not talking about business there, right? We're not talking about Susie from finance or Karen from HR. We're not talking about them. We're talking about your favorite childhood memory. Why do you love it so much? What kind of question would help you ask that question? Like, that's really going to help me get to know this person. I don't know about you, but I'm interested in knowing that because there's a lot of people that had bad childhood memories, right? And that's all they talk about is their trauma, or they talk about, the negative stuff. So what is your favorite? What is your favorite childhood memory? Why do you love that memory so much? Like, can you see the relationship growing? Can you see the interest in each other building? Can you see the conversation going nowhere in the direction of your business, of your company, of your job, of what you just came out of, that meeting, that email, that phone call? None of that has to do with this conversation and where this whole conversation and the rest of this evening is going to go. You see what I'm saying? The second thing I want to say is, do you remember God being a part of your childhood? If so, how? So not only are we going to incorporate God through scripture and devotional, but we're going to bring him in the heart and center of your conversation, because now we're talking about God. We're talking about faith. We're talking about becoming spiritually intimate with this person, right? Because now we are intertwining this cord of three, being you, your dating, God, and your business and your job being as a professional doesn't really fit in here, does it? At least not in this date. At least not in this date. So how do you get out of that business mindset? How do you shut it off? The answer is you pick something. You go on a date that is going to be so completely opposite, and you focus your conversation on something that will take you away from the professional person and into that individual person that they are every other hour of the day, right? The other thing I wanted to say is, let me see, focus your dates that will help you work on the good traits, right? So I said if you wanted to say, for example, all they do is talk about work, or they can't put their phone down. And it's like, I just want to, if you're married, right? You're married and the focus is not there. Then again, you want to go back to the index, say, I really want to work on communication. I really want to work on trust. I really want to work on being vulnerable with you because I feel like I can't because you're so wrapped up in your job, right? So then you would look in the index and you would find those dates that cater to those traits. Okay. I don't know how many traits I listed in this book. It's really hard to say, but there are 65 dates, and each of the dates have at least three traits that you can work on. Everything from intimacy, affection, attraction, trust, communication, helping others, being present, compassion. All of these things, all of these traits are purposely going to help you grow your relationship, are going to help you grow to get to know this individual person. I got a chat here. Let me look at this comment. Oh, I like that. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So the other thing I wanted to say is the last challenge, which was private, 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 hush, hush. We have to keep this on the low. We can't let anybody know. I don't want anybody talking. I don't want anybody in my business. I don't want, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. So what are you going to do? Right? How do you get out of that? Because I don't know about you, but I used to be like that. I used to have these relationships and, I'm taking days off and I'm going to go on this. I'm leaving work early. Oh, for what? None of your business. None of your business. Why do you need to know my info? Right? Like, It happens. There's always somebody there that wants to know more about what you do outside of when you're with them doing what you're supposed to do, right? So how do you get out of this private, like when you're ready to merge the two worlds, when you're ready to merge your relationships and all these dates with your work setting, because you're one person, you shouldn't be living in two worlds. You should be living in one world and everything should be working cohesively, right? And if you can't do that, if you have to keep them separate, then there must be something going on with one or the other. Nevertheless, perfect harmony is the way that God intended it. So let's work towards that, right? How do you work towards that? Chapter, I believe, 6. Is it chapter 6? Let me look real quick. Chapter 6 is going to be the place for you. Okay? Chapter 6 is going to be the place for you. It is the group date. Why would I include other people in my date if I'm trying to get rid of people in my business? Why would I include other people in my date if I'm trying to get people out of my business? Here's the answer. It is because when you start to normalize it, then everyone else around you starts to normalize it. But when you keep making it hush hush in this forbidden thing that you're doing, then people are prone to be curious and to wonder why. Okay? So that's why if you bring out other people to have a good time, not only are you going to get to know your friends and your coworkers or whoever you choose to invite on your date, but you're also creating a safe space for your date and you to connect and to grow and to get to know each other a little better. So let's come up with a sample group date just to give you a taste of like what should this group date look like. All right. And in the group dates, like there's more than just coworkers. I have everything in here from pets to dates with kids to your parents to all of these things. Okay. So let's see. Here we go. Pranksters. Okay. You guys are getting 2 sample dates today. I usually give just one, but this is the date called Pranksters. Okay. It's very fun. I think. I think it would be a fun date. The scripture is Proverbs 17:22. And these are all New Living Translation, is all of the scriptures that are coming from this book. And the verse is, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit saps a person's strength. So this date is pretty risky and daring to do with a close friend or couple you both know well. So choose someone who is lighthearted and enjoys a good laugh. Don't get Nancy in finance if Nancy in finance ain't good for a laugh. All right. You want to get Terry in marketing. Okay. Because he has a bit of a sense of humor. Together with your date, plan a harmless and inoffensive prank on that friend. Although there are plenty of ideas online, such as a simple conversation twist that confuses your friend to the good old-fashioned whoopee cushion that you slip onto the seat as they attempt to sit down. The overall goal is to create a joke with your date that you can play on a mutual friend. Okay? And I was thinking of The Office when I thought of this joke, when I thought of this date. Because in The Office, if you guys have ever seen The Office, raise your hand if you're Office fans. When you see The Office, you got Pam and you got what's his name? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. What is his name? Grigowski. What's his name? That guy. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Pam and the dude who always pranks Dwight. He always pranks Dwight. But then when Pam started dating him, Jake's, no. It's gonna bother me so much. When they started dating, when Pam started dating him, right? They started pranking Dwight together. As a matter of fact, before they started dating, like that was their thing. They would like prank Dwight because that was what they did and it connected them and it brought them closer together. And sometimes Dwight would try to prank them and they never happened. And all the way to the very end of the season, that post credit, they were still pranking. And it was just a really fun thing that you can do with somebody, especially if you guys work together and you guys all have the same coworkers. Pam and Jim. It was so simple that it just left my psyche. Yes. So yeah, you do that. But say you guys work in the same place, or say you work in the same department, or say you guys serve on the same board or the same network. It doesn't even have to be like that. It could just be a random person that you guys both know, because you guys are trying to get to know each other. And so therefore, naturally, your worlds are going to start to come together. If you're married, right? Like your husband works too late and you work too much, and it's hard for you guys to go on dates, then find somebody you both know that would really be into this, and then you plan your prank, right? So, and then obviously, how does God come into this? I'll let you find out when you pre-order the book. But this is good for playfulness, friendship, and teamwork. Okay. And then here's some tips. You keep the prank wholesome, obviously. You don't prank or joke about realistic matters, like something that, like, someone is hurt or someone's pregnant or breaking up or cheating. You don't want to go that route. Be sure that the person you choose will be open to the prank. Like, you got to totally make sure that this is the right person. Be careful on this date, because it could start a prank war. Okay? Imagine that. Imagine you guys are just like, your whole date is dedicated on like getting this person back, and you guys have been doing this for a couple years now. Like, it could just become a very fun thing to you that you guys can do, right? And then you have your talking points, because remember, this is a date. So, in what ways do you seek laughter in your life? Let's talk not about our business. Let's not talk about work, but how does laughter come in your life? How can you and your date laugh more in your relationship? So now you're making your relationship your business, right? How can we laugh more in our relationship? Like, this was a really fun thing to do. It was so fun when we saw, Amanda in accounting. Like, it was so fun to see her. Did you see how she reacted to that? I caught it on camera. Oh my god, it was so funny. But like, how can we have more fun in our relationship? How can we laugh more in our relationship? You know what I mean? So you take it from that business and you bring it back into the personal. And so those are just a few examples of what you guys can do to just make it more with other people. Other things you can do is go to an amusement park. You guys can have a grill, Netflix and grill. I haven't talked about that, but it is definitely a popular date. Netflix and grill. Okay. And that's something that you can do to bring those people into your world, so that you can start sharing that business world and that relationship world, and just bring it together. And you have to just start normalizing it. Just normalize the relationship that you're trying to develop with this person. Because again, when you normalize it, everybody else normalizes it. You don't have to turn it into this big thing of like, okay, guys, Kyle and Selena are dating. Oh my God, I didn't even see it. Or, oh, I saw it coming. It's like, no, they've been having these dates for a while. We've been going on these dates with them for a while. Like, we knew that this was here. And so let's get back to work. You know what I mean? Like, let's get back to work. So those are the solutions that I have. These solutions are all coming from this book, Christian Dating Adventures. If you are a professional, then please know that there is more to life than your job. I hope that I pray that one of your values is connection, human connection with someone else, building a legacy, whether that's a family, whether that's having children, or whether that's just finding a companion that you can enjoy life with, because work is not always going to be there. At some point, we're all going to get old enough that we're going to have to retire, right? And money doesn't always fulfill everything. But if you have this human connection, and if God is at the center of that human connection, then how much more deeper and fulfilling would that be? So why don't we put the same amount of effort that we're doing at our job placement, and why don't we put that into our dates by being intentional, by being direct, by, getting to the heart of some issues or some values or some interests that you've always wanted to know about your date. And let's bring God into it, right? Through scripture, through devotions, through conversations, and by faith, that He is pulling you guys together in a way that no other job setting could or can or will in the future, right? So, does anyone have any questions? Let me know about dating as a professional before I get into this giveaway, because we're going to do that right now. Let me know. I'm going to go over to let me go over to Instagram and make sure there was no other extra entries, because I did add everyone's name. So let me see. I got, I want to make sure I have everybody. Thank you guys for coming to the live, by the way. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm outside the U.S. Best wishes, lady. Where are you from? Tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're from. Okay, so if that is it, all right, I think I have everybody on here I added. So for Instagram, let's see if I could, there we go. Let's see if I could share you here. I'll turn it around. Turn it around. Here we go. Oh. All right, so this is my random picker. I have everybody's individual entry here. Here. Okay. And we're going to pick it. Thank you guys for playing. Here we go. Here we go. What is this? An ad. What is this? Where did it go? Did it go? I don't see it. Do you see it? Oh, there it is down there. Wait. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? I just saw it. Guys, I just Googled random picker. So if you have a better one, there we go. The winner is Adamaris. Maris? Adamaris Mari. All right. So you are the winner. And who was your person? Brown Babe Love. So you guys, I will send you a DM and let you know, and I'll also tag you in my stories. And I will be collecting your shipping address, and I will be sending a book out to both you and Brown Babe Love. Thank you guys so much for playing. Congratulations to the winner. Again, I am not going to have a live for the rest of this week because it's a pretty busy week, guys. Halloween and it's raining and football and family and sleep because that's when I get my sleep in. So we're going to be doing all of that. And then on Monday, my husband and I are going on a date to celebrate the launch of our new book. I will be back on Tuesday, November 2nd. I'll have new topics on how you guys can improve your date lives and how you can improve your dates when it comes to them. And we're going to be celebrating. We're going to be celebrating all week long next week. I will be having cupcakes and my kids will be around and I'll wear my Mickey Mouse ears like I did in my last book launch. And we're just going to have a really good time. So I hope that you stay with us. I'm placing an order tomorrow. I need this book. Yes. Hey, I'm from Panama. Just watched one of your videos from 2014. Girl or guy. Oh, no, you're a girl. Yeah, girl. Oh, my gosh. Some videos from back in the day. All I got to say is eyebrows. Okay. All I got to say is eyebrows. Thank you so much for supporting and for watching. Yes, I'm having a book that's coming out. It's called Christian Dating Adventures Forever, Steffi. So maybe you should check it out. And I know my YouTube game has been pretty off, but I'm hoping with these videos, we will definitely get back on track. And definitely in the new year, definitely in the winter season, we will be coming back with some new stuff for you guys. So YouTube, hang tight because you guys are my first love. And I will never abandon you. I promise. I promise. So thank you guys so much for watching and participating in the giveaway and engaging in today's discussion. And I will talk to you guys again, through the social media, through the stories and all that stuff. But for real, I will be on another live on Tuesday, which is the official launch day. It's going to be litty lit. I'm going to be so pumped. And I want you to be pumped with me. I want you to celebrate with me because I could not have done it without you guys. And I know that this book is going to bless you guys for sure for years and years and years to come. So definitely get your hands on this book. And I will talk to you guys again soon. All right. Have a good night. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.